So this is a movie test just to check sound and picture, and what I'm attempting to show here is the play that has occurred on this component here, which I think is described as a link. So it links the blue cutting arm or blade arm, I suppose you call it, to the cam that's attached to the motor. So when the motor goes round, it's the offset cam drives the blue arm up and down via this link, and the link has two bearings on it, and the noise that I've perceived has basically come from the fact that I think this bearing is worn, and if I move the blue arm up and down by holding this still, you can hear, I hope, that bearing is worn. This machine is about 5 years old, and the last owner had not used it very much, but the owner before that I think had probably used it quite a bit. And on their website, Hegner say that this component has a lifetime of about 1 to 5 years, I think. Or maybe I read that on some other website, but it's certainly the case. Like, these nuts are tight, they're tight against the metal part of these bearings, but the bearings sit within this plastic, and something between the plastic and the actual metal attachment points here is worn and is clearly loose. I can demonstrate this a bit further by switching the machine on and then manually damping it with my finger, which is obviously not what you'd want to do on a permanent basis, but it just demonstrates where all the noise is coming from. So I'll stop the camera and I'll set that up. So here's the machine running at I think it's the slowest speed, and as you can see there is a kind of, as you can hear I hope, there is a knocking sound, which some people might regard as normal, but I can demonstrate that you can get rid of this noise by damping the system manually, so I'll do that now. So here I'm putting a fair amount of pressure with my finger about the midpoint on this lower arm, and we can see now that the machine runs almost like a sewing machine. It's very, very quiet indeed, but as soon as I move my finger off this, it will make the rattling noise again. So that is all coming from that link. It's not coming from the motor itself, otherwise the damping would not have affected that at all, I think. I'll switch that off. So the next phase, I'll put this in the shot, is to install this thing. Hopefully that's in focus. And what this is a new bearing that I ordered from Hegner. And I don't want to talk about the price of this because it was, I think for what it is, it's a little bit overpriced, and the postage was horrific as well. But anyway, it is what it is. I notice actually, just looking at this now and comparing it to the original here, so I don't know if you can see that. Let me get a pointing device. I could use my finger. So here, if you can see, this appears to be plastic, this ring around here. But on here, I don't know if you can see that, it appears to be a lot more metal. And I'm hoping that they've replaced plastic with metal, which will obviously last longer. So hopefully this is a higher quality component than what it's going to replace. So the next stage, I'm going to remove this and replace it with the new one. So I've replaced the link. It's a little bit fiddly to do. Halfway through it I read the manual and realised that it's possible to lock this cam somehow. You insert a metal rod and you can lock it, which would have made things a lot easier. This always proves the rule that you should always read the manual. And I'm pleased to say now that statically that rocking has now gone, and when I switch it on, it's as silent as can be. You can see there is no sound apart from the motor and a very quiet sound of the arm going up and down. So what I'm going to now do is just turn the variable switch up and get the speed going here and see if we can hear any knocking at all. And now that's going at full speed, and I'm very pleased to say that that's one sweet, smooth operation. At quite an expense, but it's a specialist item that fits the right bill, and obviously fits. So to my mind that was an upgrade worth doing. To give you an idea of the price, that was with postage and packaging in the UK, that was about £50, that link, which, considering the cost of the machine that I bought it for, is a reasonable fraction of the machine price, as second-hand price. But I think it's a worthy upgrade. It's made the machine run a lot more smoothly and quieter. It's more pleasant to use now. So I've now got to reassemble it and put the guard back on and everything. But it's basically ready to use now for what I need. Alright, thanks for watching.